You know, we hear it all the time, right? You got to get a mentor. It's supposed to be this magic key to success. But here's the thing, and it's a huge problem we just don't talk about. Most of us have absolutely no idea who we're even looking for, or why.
So let me ask you, straight up, what kind of mentor do you really need? Take a second. If you're kind of drawing a blank, hey, you are not alone. But stick with me, because that's exactly what we're going to crack open today, together.
All right, so here's the plan. We're going to go on a little trip, a global journey actually, to check out 5 totally timeless mentorship cultures from all over the world. Think of this as our map, and who knows, one of these models, it might just be the one that changes everything for you.
Okay, first stop on our journey, ancient Greece. We're diving into a 2,400-year-old playbook. And get this, it's so powerful, it's still the go-to for building leaders at places like Harvard. We're talking about the Socratic method.
So what's the big idea here? Well, the mentor is like a midwife for your ideas. Yeah, a midwife. Socrates didn't just hand out answers. No way. He used questions to help his students literally give birth to their own big ideas, to become critical thinkers. He'd throw out questions like, hey, is stealing always wrong? I mean, what if you're stealing to feed your starving kid? See, the answer wasn't really the point. The thinking, that was everything. And just look at the ripple effect. This is insane. Socrates mentors Plato. Plato turns around and mentors Aristotle. And who does Aristotle mentor? Only Alexander the Great. I mean, think about that. One single chain of mentorship that literally reshaped the entire world.
And don't think for a second this is just some dusty old history lesson. Nope, fast forward to today. In Silicon Valley, you've got Bill Campbell, the legendary trillion-dollar coach, using this exact method on the founders of Apple, Google, and Facebook. Top B schools like Harvard, their whole case study method is built on this. And it's even the bedrock of modern psychology's cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Okay, but let's be real, it's not a perfect system. Sometimes all that questioning can feel like you're in some kind of verbal gymnastics competition. And it can be super frustrating when you just need a straight answer, The other big risk? Getting a mentor who's not really trying to help you think. They already have the answer they want, and they're just going to keep poking you with questions until you say it. Ugh, that's not mentorship, that's just annoying.
So, if you're thinking, yeah, that's what I need, here's how you spot one. Look for somebody who asks way more questions than they give answers. A huge green flag is when you hear them say, okay, but why do you think that is? They're digging into your process. And here's a little pro tip for you. Write down the best questions they ask. Seriously, those questions will stick with you for years.
But what if a thinking partner isn't enough? What if you're feeling kind of broken, and you need someone to help you rebuild not just your ideas, but, well, you, from the ground up?
For that, we're going to pack our bags and head to our second stop, ancient India, to dive into the tradition of the guru.
I just love the word itself. Gu, that means darkness, and ru, that means light. So a guru is, quite literally, someone who takes you from the darkness and brings you into the light. How beautiful is that?
The classic story here comes from the Mahabharat, this incredible 5,000-year-old epic. The hero, the great warrior Arjun, he just breaks down on the battlefield. He's totally consumed by doubt and refuses to fight. And that's when his friend Krishna steps up and becomes his guru. Right there, in the chaos of battle, Krishna gives him purpose. And that's the whole point. A guru helps you find the will to fight when you feel absolutely defeated.
So, if you're looking for that kind of deep guidance, here's a few things to think about. If you're learning a craft, go all in. Become a real apprentice. And when you're looking for a mentor, don't just look at their job title. Look for someone whose whole life you admire. And before you commit, just watch them for a while. See how they live. Now, a guru can be a gentle guide. But what if that's not really your style? What if you need someone who's a little more, shall we say, in your face? For that, we're heading to Persia and the Middle East, the home of Sufi mentorship. Now, in this tradition, a mentor doesn't always bring comfort. Sometimes they deliberately create friction, a kind of productive tension designed to make you grow.
The idea here is really profound. It's that sometimes a mentor has to completely shatter your worldview so you can build a new, stronger one. The famous scholar Rumi, he was a pretty cold, rigid academic, until he met Shams of Tabriz, this wild mystic who just turned Rumi's entire world upside down. And that friction, that tension, is what transformed Rumi into the incredible poet whose words inspire everyone from Beyoncé to Satya Nadella today. So if this sounds intriguing, you could try this. Spend time with someone whose ideas genuinely unsettle you. Be open to having your beliefs destabilized. But, and this is really important, please tread carefully here. This model is only for you if you are truly ready and willing to welcome that kind of intense friction.
Okay, that's pretty intense. So what if you want a mentor who will push you hard, but maybe in a more humble, respectful way?
For that, our fourth stop takes us to Japan, the land of Zen and martial arts. This is where we meet the sensei. And in this path, the focus isn't on building your charisma, it's all about building your character.
In Japan, the sensei is the path. They embody it. You start as a white belt with what's called a shoshin, a beginner's mind. As you practice, your belt changes color, but here's the key. You never ask for the next one. Your sensei decides when you are ready. And the most beautiful part? That coveted black belt, it doesn't mean you're done. It means you are finally ready to begin again, right back at that humble beginner's mind.
So far, we've really been talking about one-on-one mentorship. But what if a whole community could be your guide? For that, let's head to our fifth and final stop, West Africa.
In the Yoruba tradition, it's not on one person. The entire village has a responsibility to teach the young apprentice. The market square, that's your MBA program. The elders, those are your professors. Mentorship is a chorus, not a solo. And you see this today in places like Silicon Valley, where mentorship isn't a favor, it's just this shared responsibility woven into the fabric of the community. So we've gone from a Greek questioner to an Indian guide, a Sufi challenger, a Japanese master, and an African village. 5 totally different approaches, but they all share one powerful common thread. A great mentor doesn't just show you the path forward, they fundamentally change the way you see the world itself. And look, if you're thinking, I still haven't found my mentor, let me tell you something with 100% certainty. You will find them, or more likely, they will find you. They show up everywhere, in our families, at school, at work, in our communities. So the real question isn't if they'll appear, it's this. Your mentors are going to show up. Are your eyes open?